Que la que hay, mi gente, Rico.t.toro. You're going to go ahead and want to hit that like right now because you clicked on the right YouTube channel today. So, thank you to all my people that have subscribed. Thank you for all the new people that checked in. So if this is your first time, Rico.toro is about that real life experiences and personal observations. And today is no different. Thank you to those even trolling me a little bit, watching me a little bit. A lot of people watch but haven't been subscribing. Thank you, but shame on you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe now to make it officially real. So today, you may be entertained, you may be amused, but you probably will definitely learn some knowledge from some of these gems that I'm dropping. You know, I'm bringing it to you honestly. I'm bringing it to you with some humility. I'm bringing it to you just real from the heart as I experience it. So stay tuned. I'm free at last. I have a lot of reason to say those words. Those are the words I was saying like just 5 minutes ago, actually. As the subject of this video has just picked up the remaining belongings she left. So, real quick, shout out Real Brother. Shout out Vic from New Jersey. Vic from the Bronx. Down here now, Louis, Florida, New York, DMV, Newark, New Jersey, all of that, you know, a lot of good people I've been meeting recently, as well as just seeing for their return trips and seeing them as they make their way from other areas of the island to hang out. Shout out to all the expats, not just in Sosua, but in the whole Puerto Plata province. So, anyways, yeah, so, I don't know, several months ago I did a video called basically the dark side or the drama of Sosua, you know, of some things here related to the life, the challenges of the game when you get too close with some girls, etc. Some of the things you won't see on a short trip. So, anyways, this is kind of the same subject that I'm speaking of in this video. It was the same subject referenced in that video. So I'll put the link in the description, and you can check that out later on. Also, emails always in description for questions, for information non-related to this video, as well as the Cash App. Donations welcome, never expected, always appreciated. So, just a little backstory. About 5 years ago, you know, I met, what's a good name for this video for this chick? Consuela. Yeah, I said it. Good old Latin name, Consuela. Dame un plato, roca, pollo, habichuela, Consuela. I like that. So anyways, we'll say Consuela. About 5 years ago, I met Consuela when I was just coming down here a couple times a year, a few days here and there, and she would spend a lot of time, like half of the trip with me, more or less, and you know, we had a good vibe, you know, 85-90% of the time, super chill to be around. The other 10 to 15%, she's a time bomb. Big surprise. So I'm sure you guys have met some like this. So as time went on, roles have evolved and changed. for various reasons. I'm not going to get all into that, as I got into that some in the previous video. So anyways, it's somewhere along the line, she had lost her apartment, I think. I'm going to use some names and places to protect people's identity that aren't actually accurate, but we'll say she lost her apartment in La Vega. And so she wanted to come back to Sosua's. Things started popping again, try to do what she had to do to get a new apartment, okay? And I don't contribute to her business in that way. Like I say, our roles have changed. I've been can be called anything from a client to a novio to to an amigo, and dare some people even said I was her chulo. So anyways, all that aside, she's back, and after a couple of weeks, a little bit, she wanted to stay at my place a couple of days. All right, no big deal. Next thing I think a lot of it, she wanted to use the laundry facilities here that the staff uses, that the people that maintain apartments use for some things. So she did that, and it was a lot of clothes. And shame on me. I humbly admit I didn't see all this coming. And so next thing you know, she's got a whole lot of stuff here, and it's like she moved in. And one of the things I pride myself on, I talk a lot of trash sometimes about how I can break all the rules, break all my own rules, and recover so quickly. Nobody else can do it how I do it, blah, blah, blah. I pride myself a lot on how I manage my relationships and how I manage my drama, and I'm coming at you like from my heart, like letting you know this was one of them cases where I almost lost. And so then in the process, she's looking at apartments. She's going to different areas, into Puerto Plata. She's going back and forth to Santiago looking for apartments for a day or so. I'm like, okay, hopefully find something soon or whatever. And, I'm hearing of this word guarantor, which is like co-signer. That's needed. Well, she didn't ask, and I would certainly not volunteer to do that for someone. So, anyways, she's got her money saved up. She's handing me money to put in my safe for her. And so, honestly, that's how I know so many guys out there are spending or giving US dollars, because I don't count another man's money, but if I'm held accountable and responsible for it somewhat, I have to count another man's money. So, anyways, she's, this process is taking a little long, and then we start she's staying with me, but I'm not having sex with her because I'm really not interested in it. I have enough options and enough fun elsewhere, and I want to be separate from what she does, to do what she has to do. So, things just started getting gradually, as like when you're used to living alone, just a little more tension in the household. At first, this was benefiting me kind of equally, cooking, the cleaning, running my errands, handling some business for me, without a hitch. So I appreciated that. And then, like I say, little things just started getting a little more tension, like stupid stuff. Like if I was out running errands and she was out, but, was trying to come back here, she would assume that I was here all the time, because I am a lot during the day. But sometimes I do step out to the gym, the barber shop. You do go today, by the way. Anyways, to the store or whatever. So she would be out there ringing the bell, the buzzer, blowing up my phone, which I don't have Wi-Fi everywhere I go. sometimes I leave the phone in the house. I'm not like attached to my phone like some people 24/7. And sometimes she'd be ringing the neighbors' bells, sometimes banging on the door loudly, just becoming a nuisance, and showing a strong lack of consideration for my neighbors. So, and I only have 5 neighbors, it's a small boutique apartment. So, another day, she, I would always tell her, like when she would go somewhere, to the beach or whatever, she'd be out. I say, okay, I got plans at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. I would let her know, like when I'm doing stuff, like, don't be here then, or you can't be here this night because I got plans. And sometimes she would respect that. Other times, not so much. It would be almost like on purpose. Sometimes like my girl would be late and the amiga, Consuela, would be, somehow time it to where they're both coming in the gate almost. And she would just, they never ran each other like that. I did introduce them though eventually. It's another story. So, she's like, at times waiting down in front of the pool for like a couple hours while I'm, entertaining company upstairs. And so I'm, like one day I'm mad at my girl for being late. I'm mad at Consuela for screwing up the time and stuff. And she's like, blah, blah, what's the big deal? I'm by the pool, whatever. I said, well, the truth is, all this arguing, all this tension or whatever over like just respecting my time and my space, etc. I don't function that well. A lot of us don't. Let's be real. Sometimes some little outside stress, especially if you're over 40, 50 like me. Things throw off our mojo. So I'm like, this can't be happening. So anyways, at some point, a couple of my regular friends, they're aware, because this is not the first time that Consuela has stayed a little bit here, but like I say, usually be 2 or 3 days, and then I'd not talk to her for like a month. But so some friends that I've dealt with a while, they know her. They don't know her and have made the connection. But at some point, I've had to explain at various times to some of the same friends, like, yes, this is why there's some panties hanging in my shower, or some female toiletries, hygiene products, on the shelf. It's right now I'm helping out Consuela. And so, actually, shout out to all the Aquarius, by the way, February birthdays, much love. So, so like I say, she went to a couple times, different apartments. I know I'm all over, but just you're gonna get the dimes in a little bit. You're gonna get the gems. So, I actually when I had my my party for my birthday, because of the relationships, if you will, it was only natural that they both came. So this was the time that I had to be a gentleman and just introduce them. And many of you guys that have seen me in person, while a lot of this is going on, you've sat next to me at the bar, and I've told you a lot of this going on. So it's not news to you, but I told you guys this should make a good video by the time that time is right, when she is out. That's why I didn't post anything for like a week, because the last stress that I've been going through with changes at work and getting her out of here kind of took its toll on me. So at the party, they're sitting side by side, and I'm thinking this might be a good thing. They're each at some point going to start talking smack about me, maybe, and then I'm going to start hearing it from in each ear in the days coming. This one was throwing you under the bus, saying this about you. This one said, you ain't nothing, you ain't shit, Rico. And but none of that really happened. There was no drama there. So, one of the things, like I say, I had put a video out about guys giving these severance packages and putting girls in apartments and co-signing and, giving them stimulus packages to move on with their life, severance packages, whatever you want to call it, just to get rid of them. And I preach firmly against that. But the reason why I'm so humbled by this is I was a little bit on the fence, like I might become one of those guys that I spoke of. So, the stuff was really hitting the fan, like, the last couple of weeks. I mean, we had stupid arguments, like one day she thought she secured an apartment in Puerto Plata, but the next day she called to set up a time to sign a contract, and she goes from 0 to 120 on the guy, and he's keeping his cool, and he hung up and blocked her. And then she asked to use my phone, and she calls him right back, and he says like 3 words, and she goes off again, just lost it completely. And I'm basically trying to tell her calmly, you should put your pride aside and stop trying to worry about who's right and wrong, and think about what the ultimate goal is. The goal is for you to get an apartment, and more importantly, leave. Remember that. That's one lesson. Sometimes you have to put your pride aside. It's not about who's right or who's wrong or who's the good person, who's the bad person. It's about doing what you need to accomplish the goal at hand. We all have to take a step back and, keep the peace to get to where we need to go in that moment. Especially if it means getting out of my house. So, I wouldn't rent to you either, because you're an asshole, coming off like that. It's basically how I was. And then, then it come down to, friends of mine, I'm telling them I'm going through this, some friends here, and they try to tough talk stuff like, bro, you shouldn't have to deal with that. Just carry her, throw her over the fence, throw all her shit in the street, and just move on with your life. You don't have to deal with that. Blah, blah, blah. All this tough talk. So I'm like, and then, I consult another friend. He's like, no, you have to be real careful because it's so easy for them to go to the police. It's, and then, my landlord said the same thing. My landlord is Dominican. And he says, when it comes to women, they protect them very closely when it comes to these matters. As soon as you go putting somebody's stuff on the street or throwing them out the window, or whatever, it's really easy for them to go to the police, say you hit them or something, and then you're in the system. He said, because I basically, it was real humbling for me to ask for help, sometimes. So, because I asked him, because he had to come fix my kitchen sink. So I asked him, I said, oh yeah, I'm trying to get rid of Consuela. I'll give you $100 extra rent this month if you come here and get her out. So he was telling me, no, y'all just have to talk, try to work it out civilly, and hopefully she'll go in peace. Otherwise, I'll give you the number to the municipal. You can call, set up an appointment, and try to deal with them. Well, I don't know. I used to watch Cops. I don't know what the Dominican squatters' rights are, and I didn't want to find out the hard way. But in many parts of the United States, if you got a cousin, an ex-girlfriend, your homeboy, staying on your couch for 2 or 3 days, well, they come Friday, let's say, long weekend, after Monday, they got rights. They've established tenant rights, even if they're not paying nothing. And even if you call the police will say, it's not a criminal matter, it's a civil matter at this point. You have to go down to the clerk, the court, and filed a complaint, and it's like they have like 30 days rights basically to squat. And like I said, I didn't want to find out the hard way what the Dominican squatter rights are. So that's another thing. You gotta keep your cool in these cases and just try to resolve them peacefully. Some time back, she was really trying to sales pitch me like to be like the rescue guy at Novella or something, saying, we'll get an apartment in Santiago or Santo Domingo or, or somewhere outside of this area so she could have a more normal life and blah, 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 not have to, and here's the thing about these kind of things. You have that kind of control over your happiness here. So, like I heard a funny story last night about a guy that's, contemplating getting married to his favorita. And, I think the guy is Dominican from the States, though. And I think it might be a situation where, because he understands the language fluently, it might be working against him, because that means every time there's something emotional, or some drama or something, he understands everything she's saying, and he's feeling sympathetic to, her words. Rather than me, I'm sometimes glad I don't understand. Like, I'm glad, whatever you're talking about is deep, and I'm glad today I don't understand. Because if it means more stress or sucking me into a uncomfortable place that I don't want to be, it's better not to understand some things. So, anyways, man, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all learned some things from this. Don't let anybody, the best thing to do, don't let anybody stay with you for any amount of time that doesn't already have their own place or their own life. If you have a woman that has kids in Puerto Plata or another area and a grandmother, or her own apartment somewhere to go to sometimes, that's the best situation. But if they're just lurking around, the only thing, never go further than other than a Chica hotel and a Gringo's hotel or villa, if that's all they got, but no family or nothing that they regularly try to get to or another place they try to get to, you don't want to deal with them because, they'll be squatters like I experienced, and that's what I liked about Consuela for the most part. She always had an apartment that she liked in a city that she liked to go to and get away from here. So, I can't say that enough, man. So there it is. There's more. There's more, but I don't want to keep y'all all day. But I do appreciate you. Go ahead, hit that subscribe, hit that like. Be well, y'all. Peace.